We're just two college best friends in our mid-20s trying to navigate adulthood, our careers, and everything in between.
We created this podcast as a creative outlet for us to talk about whatever's on our minds and create a community with our listeners. We can't wait to take you on this journey. Hey y'all, it's Dini and welcome back to the Now Girl podcast. In today's episode, we are going to talk about our PWI experience. And if you don't know what PWI stands for, it is predominantly white institution. So we're going to, give y'all the tea on how our 4 years at our university was and all that. But before we get into all that, Lauren, tell them what we're going to do first.
Hey guys, it's me, Lauren. Welcome back. Before we get into today's episode, we're going to revisit a new segment that we introduced last week. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode, go ahead and pop over and listen to that one first and then come back and give us a listen on this one. We're going to talk about some recent news, other pop culture topics. But for today, Denny is going to talk about some upcoming movies and TV shows that she's excited for. So y'all go ahead. Go ahead, Denny.
Yeah, girls. So, y'all, I am a big movie girl, a big show girl. I just love TV. I love movies more. So I'm gonna give y'all my things that I'm excited for that are releasing in the next couple of months. This is not like a whole list because we could sit here forever and I can just go on and on and on. But anyway, so one of the movies that I'm excited for is Creed 3. And y'all, Lauren has not seen any of the Creeds. I need to get her on it. It is so good. I went to the movies to see the first two. But lately, since COVID and everything, I've been just waiting for the movies to release on the streaming platform because I have everyone. But I don't know if I'll see it in the theaters or I'll just wait till it hits, And I can wait. If I really want to see it, I can wait. I won't listen to no spoilers.
No, I can wait. I can't do that. See, if I hear something from a TV show, I gotta go watch it immediately. Like with what's it called? What's that show that's on Netflix? Little Wednesday Addams. Whew.
Yes. Oh,
I waited.
I
love that show.
That's a whole. We can do a whole show on that.
That was a good show. That was a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited for Creed 3. So if you haven't seen the Creed franchise, it's with Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson. It's like a not a spinoff, but kind of of
a continuation. Isn't a little continuation?
A continuation of the Rocky series, but it's really really good. And Ryan Coogler, I think he directed it. I know he did the first one. He
got some up there, don't he?
Yeah, he did that. So I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for House Party, which it's already released. So I'm just gonna wait till that one comes on streaming platforms. But the House Party series is my favorite. I have the DVD set. Who has DVDs? Okay. I have House Party 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one. The fourth one, and then there's a fifth one, but it's the new school version. Sure. And I've seen that one. I think it might be another one, but I gotta see this one. So I'm excited about that. Let me see. Oh, I'm excited about the Wu-Tang series that's ready to come out. I think in February. If y'all haven't watched the Wu-Tang series, y'all need to go get on it. It's so good. I love it so much. And then the last thing is the new Netflix movie with Eddie Murphy, Nia Long, Lauren London, and Jonah Hill. I think it's Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Jonah Hill.
I'm ready to see that. It come out on Friday, and I'm excited. So next week's episode, I'll tell y'all how I like it because I'm watching it on Friday when it come out. Oh, and then I'm excited to actually see Black Panther. I didn't go to the movies to see Black Panther. I did the first one, but not this one. But it's coming on Disney Plus at the beginning of February.
Yeah, girl, that's Black History Month. Yes. That makes sense. It
makes sense. So I'm excited to see that. And once that come out, I'm gonna give y'all my take because I've seen mixed reviews on it. So yeah, because I'm a Marvel girl at heart, so I love everything Marvel. So I'm excited for this. But yeah, y'all. So that's kind of my little pop culture little moment of the week type thing. Lauren don't got nothing she's excited for that's coming up.
Not really. But I'm not a movie person. If it comes out, it come out. That's how I feel. I'll watch it eventually.
I'll be so excited about these shows. But our main topic, like I told y'all, we're gonna be talking about our experience at our PWI. So a little backstory: if you haven't watched our first 2 episodes, and if you don't know
Girl,
much
they ain't
about
gonna watch it.
us, they need yes, go watch it. Because if you go
It's
watch
not
it,
what you can't watch it. You can hear
I mean,
us.
if you go listen to it, if you
I
go
said,
listen,
you go watch.
one day you'll watch. One day you might be able to watch it. We might
Oh
do
Lord.
visuals. But go back and listen to that one, so you can get to know who we are. But we both attended the same college. We did all 4 years at the same school, and the school we happened to go to was PWI. So I want to pose this question to you first. Why did you choose the school that we went to? And we went to Radford University. It's okay, y'all know we don't go there no more. So Radford University. So what made you choose Radford?
Ow! Hurt myself.
Honestly, be honest.
What made me choose Radford? It was my backup school. It was not my first choice. It was in no means my first choice. I wanted to go actually to VCU, which was like the Richmond area, which had a lot more diversity. But I ended up with Radford because it was like one of my backup schools. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll go here. It's cool. Um, I will say at first, it was cool. I mean, to be honest, back then, coming off the experience that we had from Radford, we had kind of just like we were like the last our 2015 group of like the high schools coming in. I would like to say we were like the last little bit of the old Radford that they had. Nowadays, they ain't got that. They used to have the little yellow house. I was talking to somebody who went to Radford like 2 times before. They're like, "Oh, well, when you were there, was the yellow house there?" I'm like, "What is a yellow house?" They're like, "Oh, it was where all like the black students got together. They had parties. They did this and a third because they felt like nowhere else they fit in, only at the yellow house." In which I kind of halfway think that's kind of why they came up with like CDI, like when we were there, kind of like that's why it's so big because they always said they always had parties and functions in the yellow house. Now, was the yellow house safe? I don't know. Cause the way that people was acting, the way that when people was telling me who used to go there, that yellow house was wild. It was real wild.
Also, to preference, guys, our school that we went to, like in our state, and even people that's not in our state, like our school is kind of considered a party school, but it's not because of current day things that happen. It's because
some past
like
things,
past day things. But people still think that our school is like this big party school. Like now,
like people go there to go act crazy,
like, right? We're like every other college campus, I believe.
It's
But
gonna party.
I will say, a lot of people from a lot of different schools used to come down to our parties, our events, our concerts, like a lot of stuff. So I'll say that.
And I literally, like, when people are like, "Oh my gosh, you went to a party school," I said, "So what school? Tell me what school is not a party school."
Right.
Like what school just sits at home and be like, "You know what? Today I'm gonna go ahead and just do my work and and sleep in." Nobody does that. Okay, nobody does that.
Right.
You gotta have fun.
For me, the reason why I chose to go to the school, kind of like how like you said, it was like my backup school.
It's one of those like Radford is a safety school for like everybody. And I hate to say it. It's kind of weird though. It's like everybody you ask people like, "Oh, well, where did you really want to come to Radford?" Like, no, I want to go somewhere else. But here I am.
Which you end up staying. But like I wanted because this is another bullet point I wanted to ask you too. Did you want to go to HBCU? So I originally wanted to go to HBCU. So when I was picking colleges, I had a lot of thoughts. Like my biggest thing was I wanted to be as far away from home as possible. Not because I don't like my family. I just always I always wanted to like just go away, like be somewhere else, like experience something else. So one of the schools that I wanted to go to was, now this is not an HBCU, but I wanted to go to NYU. I wanted to go to UNC. That was like the school I wanted, like when I was in elementary school. That's the school I wanted to go to. And then once I like started,
Doing a little research
stuff, I was like, oh, I want to go to Howard, which I did apply to Howard, y'all. I did not get in, and that's okay because that's not what God had for me. But I did apply to Hampton, which Lauren knows this story. But I applied to
Mm-hmm.
Hampton, and I was like, I know I'm gonna get into Hampton. So what happened was I had applied to Radford too, obviously, and I hadn't heard anything from Hampton. I was like, usually you will hear either you got in or you didn't. Like they don't really. There's no gray area with college admissions. Like they either tell you you're in or you're not.
You got it or you
So
didn't. Is you getting a package in the mail or either you getting a letter that says
a
I'm
letter,
sorry.
like
That's it.
So, but before, like I got denied from Howard, and then I actually got into Virginia State, and I got into Virginia Union. So those are two HBCUs as well, and I got into those, but I didn't really want to go there. So I applied to Anthony, like I said, didn't hear anything back. It's time for me to choose where I want to go. And out of all the options that I had of where I got accepted, I was like, Radford is the best choice. Financially, just all the way the best choice. So I was like, okay, I'll go. And my plan was to transfer out after my first year. So I paid my deposit for Radford for my housing. Y'all know how that go. And
Girl, that one a doozy.
literally the day after I paid that, or the day I paid it, I got a package in the mail from Hampton. Like you said, you know if you got accepted or not.
You get
I
that
got the big
package or you
fo-
get
I
that
got the
letter.
big I got the packet, I got the folder with all this stuff in it, right? So I'm like, bro, it's
Mm-hmm.
May. It's May now. Like everybody, if you're a
It's
college
too late.
student or
It
you've
is
been to college
way.
before, you know how the college timeline works. We go to school in August. May, them people, they ready to collect the money. Your
Mm-hmm.
deposit for your room and board, all that stuff. So I got my letter and I was so upset because the postmark date on my letter, like the acceptance letter, was in March.
Girl, they forgot. They said,
And
"Go ahead and send this out right quick."
I did early admission to almost every school besides I didn't do early admission. I think I did early admission to Radford, I think.
Girl,
So
I can't remember. I think I just remember applying to Radford. And plus, too, I actually got accepted. My low key, my dream school, I don't know if you know it, was Campbell University. You ever heard of that?
mhm.
Yeah, you know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I actually wanted to go there. That was like where I was going to go and had like planned out. I ran track at the time. They were D3, which is really not that bad. Um, it's like on the lower side of the like of the division scale. So like you have D1, which is like your highly paid athletes. You have D2, which is kind of like, you're in between. Folks can move up or down depending. D3. Now that's kind of almost like you're coming out of high school and like
Mhm.
that's kind of where you're maxing out at. Like that's you're doing a
That's it.
sport, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your sport, you're not getting paid for it, but you're doing what you love. Okay. And that's where I
Mhm.
want to go. Girl, I was so excited. Like they put me on a tour. It was almost imagine I don't even know. Like I just loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like it's far away from my parents. It's not actually it wasn't too far away. It was like 2 hours. And my parents gave me like a 2 hour time limit just in case something happened to me. Because y'all, my grandma is older. And the story was that if something happened to my family or me, they needed to be able to get down there within like a certain time. So I said, okay, I got you. So Campbell was right in that little 2 hour little zone. Mind you, ain't nothing. If you Google Campbell, ain't nothing out there. You had to maybe travel 30 minutes
Mhm.
outside that little city to find something. But I loved it. But we get up in there and I'm like, okay, yes, telling my parents, I was like, I love it, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to the breakdown of like how much I had to pay. Girl, $50,000
Mm.
for each year. Each
Girl.
year.
Hey y'all,
Heartbroken.
to preference also too, I believe one of the reasons why we chose where we chose also is the money. Our school
It was like the
was not.
cheapest thing.
It was. I mean, it was a lot. It's still college,
It
but it
was.
wasn't compared to the other schools around us. It wasn't.
It wasn't like
It
an
wasn't
arm and a
crazy.
leg. It
It
was like
wasn't
honestly,
crazy.
for my like student debts, I tell myself like I have a rogue, and I tell myself owe back 2 cars, and not to say that's not a lot,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
like at
mine's
this
aren't
like
either.
like mentally I'm like, oh, okay, that's not bad, but like I know some people out there that got to pay back a house, a car, and a boat, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, just to go
Right.
to school. I gotta pay back 2 cars, so I'm like, you know what, that's not bad. And literally the price went like my car is a little bit older, so I'm like, that's not It's not too bad. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of money. Still a lot of money. And especially in this
It
economy.
is.
But you have to find some positives where there's not a lot of positive, like
Right.
it's a negative. So,
Right.
gotta hold myself to that. Thankfully, I mean, hopefully and prayerfully, Biden go ahead and whatever they do with this,
Right, they need to stop playing. Take that ball. Take
they can
that.
actually, I need to know, did they ever figure out if we do have to pay, like, when we gonna repay it? Because I don't think.
I think it was in June.
Okay, good. Because I ain't got no letters. Lord, that scared me.
Girl, that ain't that's the last of my words right now.
Girl,
But yeah,
I
so
just been
like
living payment free, girl.
for me, I did want to go to HBCU. I had HBCUs that I did get into. The one that I really wanted to get into, I didn't get into, but I did. Like I said, Hampton. My letter was postmarked for March, but I didn't get it until May, which I was so upset. And I was like, I'm transferring my first year, but I ended up staying at Radford. So now we're gonna like get into like we told y'all how we ended up there, and now we're gonna get into kind of our experience there. Now I know if you're listening to us, either you just like our podcast or this episode is interesting to you. Maybe you can
You're
relate to us.
deciding, yeah, or maybe you're
Maybe
deciding to go to a PWI versus
right,
HBCU
because
because
every
there are
PWI is not the
it's
same.
different. No. And the thing is about our PWI, it wasn't a big one. So like we didn't at Radford, we don't have football. Okay, there's
Yeah,
no football. There's no football team. Our basketball, they were pretty good, pretty decent.
our
So
basketball
like
team
we
was pretty
weren't
good,
yeah,
especially
but
that
we were
last year
yeah, I
that
mean
we
our
were there.
last year it was good, but we weren't one of those like big like
Mm-hmm.
top 5 schools out there. We weren't like the LSU that type. We were very small, little medium, comfortable
Medium.
size. It's a little schmedium.
Mm-hmm.
It was enough to be like I've never seen you before, but I've walked past you 3 times. You know what I'm saying? That's how
Right.
you on time to class. You walk by that same person when when you go into class. That's how I take Radford. But
Yeah.
it's
I just
different.
yeah, like ours, everybody's experience is different because I have heard people's PWI horror stories like on TikTok and like just other people, and even at
Yes.
I'm just gonna we'll be ready to get into our experience, but you'll see how life like was for us at our particular PWI. So we just want to preference that everybody's experience is different. Everybody's school
Hmm.
culture is
It's
different. What you
different.
experience is unique and different. So this is
Hmm.
not to take away from anybody else's experience, or this is us giving ours. So Lauren, did you, in any of the 4 years that we were there, did you personally experience any racism, whether it be from like classmates, from professors? Like, do you feel like you experienced some form of racism?
Girl, I don't think so, but I think it was 2 instances that I can. One of them, actually, both of them, I'm not sure if they were, but like, kind of like looking back on it, I was like, it was a little question mark that popped into mind. It was our first night. Now, mind y'all, okay, we are. You could almost say Danville's a little country. All right, they just a tad bit country. We basically two country
No,
girls. Girl,
I'm
y'all
not.
is country.
The city is not country. It's my family is, but my
But
grandma
you
is
know what I'm
from the
saying.
country.
Yes, but you know what I'm saying. Okay,
What's
you
up?
listen, Denny. You listen, Denny. She sound like she from like back there. All right, two little girls, two little black girls, just walking up to a little party. Mind you, it was a group of us. I don't know if you remember. Do you
Oh
remember that night
yes.
when that dude was
That's
with
oh
that
we gotta talk
with
about
that
that.
frat party? Because I like back then I was like, oh okay, that was just kind of weird. He said that, and now thinking about it, I was like, this man. Okay, okay. So let me rephrase. We went as a group with these people. I think you knew the people more than I did, so
Mm-hmm.
I was just following at that point. It was going anywhere. We end up at this party. We were about to walk in, and the dude was like, this ain't y'all's type of party. Y'all need to go ahead and head down the dark side. Now let us explain. Radford has 2 sides of campus. It is light side and dark side. It is said that more white people live on light side, and they call it light side because they have more lights, and then dark side because there's no lights down there. That's where mostly black people live. So he told us that y'all need to go ahead and head down the dark side. That's probably where y'all need to be at. And at first, I was like, what is he talking about? Like, it's a freshman. He was like, oh, okay, there's better
Mm-hmm.
parties down there. Duh. But I'm thinking about it. I said, wait a minute. What's he telling
Mm-hmm.
us?
I
That we.
remember that day too because for our school for our well, these are the white frats. Um,
Girl,
so
they
that's
practically
that's
ruled that
kind of a
school.
difference between us and like some of your HBCUs, and I mean some PWIs. Like all of the frats and sororities, like the white ones, the Panhellenic, them ones,
Mm-hmm.
they have houses, so they had
Like,
parties at their
mm-hmm.
houses, and they did this thing where it was like a ratio, like you had to have, like I think for every guy it was
You had to
three
have like,
girls
yes.
or
No, it's like
something.
6 girls or something
It's
like.
like it's something, but a lot of people I know personally have talked about like them going into frat parties and being,
Talking about
you know,
uncomfortable, talking about
uncomfortable,
how
kind
like
of pushed away. But you gotta think about it too, y'all. Like it's not that we trying to be in white spaces, but we're going to a school and we're
trying to
thinking
fit.
everybody is here. Like we're thinking, oh, like this is where people are going. Like boom, boom, boom. Little did we know, you know,
Girl, they
I
was
never
not
did that again.
accepting.
From
Nope, not at all. From
that
that
week,
point
I
on, it
never.
was we are finding a black party. We are finding black people.
Yeah, and
You know, like
it's
because
it's
don't
it's a lot. It's a lot.
not to say that like they didn't play like good music, but they was playing like like old Kanye West, like
They play
not
the
like
music that black people been off of years ago.
yeah, like it was like oh
Like,
okay, and then they jumping around like yeah, like hold on, like this
yeah,
is a little old, but thank you for including us, that type of thing. Yeah, there was that one
yeah.
experience. Then my other experience was actually I don't know if I told you it was I was at Kroger and I was shopping and I was putting my basket up, but I see an older white woman. She needed a basket. And I'm like, hey, here you go, take my basket. And she's sitting there staring at me. And I'm like, hey, here's my basket. You can use my basket. She's still just looking at me like stuck. I'm like, hey, you can use my basket. Like, I'm like, here you go. I'm handing it to her. I'm like, here you go. And then another white man comes up behind me and goes, here you go, ma'am, and gives her gives him her basket. And she happily just walks off. And I was like, so that's
Mm-mm-mm.
so you trying to tell me you think I'm dirty?
Yeah.
Like, something like that. I'm like, all right now. And the man like sped like walked off real fast, kind of just like really just take like, come on now. But yeah, that was my two. Did you ever experience any girl, you know what could be considered racism that we went through together?
What?
Girl, that night we was stopped by the police.
Girl, oh, that's gonna be a whole different. That's gonna have to be an episode, y'all.
Girl,
That that right there, y'all.
that
We had an
night.
experience that was actually really traumatizing, and I will never forget that. But we are gonna talk
Oh
about that
my
one in another
gosh.
episode because
It was
that's
just
that's
it was
that's
so I just think
that
that
was a
night
lot.
was just so weird because like once again
Mhm.
we're fresh. Well, no, we're sophomores. We ain't know no
Mhm.
better. The guy we thought, mind you,
Don't tell
okay,
it. Don't tell it.
but
Cause we gonna
it's just
keep it to
I
the
ain't gonna
next
talk. But I
episode.
mean, it was just interesting how like one cop. They were both white officers. One cop believed us and was like, "Yeah, oh y'all had a party on campus. Oh yeah, we party in the Met courts like all the time." He believed us, but the other guy did not believe us.
We gonna do a whole. We're probably gonna do a whole episode on that one because that's a good story time for us to tell. Because if you're not our parents, you don't know because we've never told this story to anybody. Like
Girl,
it was
people.
so traumatizing for us. But other than that part,
Girl, I
for
just
me
remember after
personally,
it happened. Remember after it happened, we were just in the car, silent. Like
yeah,
nobody said a word. We did. I don't think after that nobody went. We didn't even want to eat. We just turned the car around and went back to the apartment and just went to
we,
bed.
I was
It,
crying. So yeah,
it was
but yeah,
just
that it's very sad. You know, it's very sad. But for me, I don't think that I can recall any blatant thing that I can say, oh, it's a racism. You're always gonna have. I think also think we're black. We always black, no matter if we at this
we're black.
institution or this institution. So a lot of things, I would say more than anything, microaggressions, then just full out racism. But I also will say
Mhm.
too, our y'all know how colleges are, like our college where our college is, the town of our college. I know some people's towns are different. Like our locals
Yep, that's
are
exact. That's
are
what my
the
story.
they the
Yep.
rednecks. They are
That's
the
exactly
rednecks.
because that's why when I
So
told that Kroger, like thinking about that Kroger story, I'm like that would make sense because the out like our town, they're a good town. They're like in the city of Radford. It's think of people maybe like 40s and under live there. That's well, not even 40. I would give maybe like 35 and down. It's kind of like a fresh revive because it's a college town. Now when you go outside of that, Pulaski out
yeah,
there,
our
no.
our little small like our little small little window of ours. Like
Hmm.
we have some people that live in the neighborhoods around our campus. Like obviously some of the stuff is occupied by us college students, but you
Hmm.
got some locals, but it's more people outside of like that little area that we're in that, the locals are something else. But for me, I don't believe any blatant out like racism to the point where like I had to go report. The only thing that I experienced in that town was the time we got pulled over by the police.
Hmm.
And I would say microaggressions, but I know there's some. I can't pinpoint any because I think sometimes too we're so used to people saying certain things or doing certain
Yep.
things that we put it out of our mind. It's like whatever. But for me, I wouldn't say any. I can't pinpoint any particular thing. I think um for us, this is another point. Our class sizes at our school were smaller when it came
Girl,
to our
we might
when
as
it
well
came
was
to
in a high school.
our in major classes. Not like
Yep.
y'all know, not like our like biology
Core,
classes, our
yeah.
core classes, but like our class, like our major classes with like the same people, the same professors. We I believe I was
I
at
think
one
I
point I
had
was the only black girl in my class.
I think I was never that bad, but it was only me and Jalen. Me and Denny's husband, that was it. Like and they
Really?
always said they literally told us, um,
No, y'all
out of our
had what's his
program.
name in there? The other dude. We ain't gonna say his name on here, but
Yeah, okay, him. But the thing
and then
was,
the other dude.
yeah, but okay, but the thing was, the way that it went. So we're teachers, and in the state of Virginia, you had to get your license in order. Well, you. So in order to teach, you have to have a license, but you can go 2 years without teaching with a license. So mind you, they have never actually Radford until the year after me and Jalen and all the other black guys graduated. All the other there actually was black guys. I was the only black female.
Hmm.
Um, the other black guy, everybody else, there was no black person who's graduated from that program. All of everybody else has taken the other route of like taking all these tests. Mind you, Virginia has like three standardized. Is it three or is it two? No, yeah, it's three standardized tests, and you have to do for your subject. You have to do for
Hmm.
writing. You have to do for your math. Now, that being said, the first two, the VCLA and the content area, those two are very easy. I mean, you write, and of course, you already know how to whatever you're teaching, you should know already all about it. Now, that math is what trips some people up. It tripped me up. Now, let me tell you, I had to take that test 3 times, and you had to pass with a score of 150. Now, listen, I had been studying that last time. Okay, you have to get a 150 to pass. I turned my little test in, and it's not like oh you had your score comes later. Girl, my score popped up on that screen. Why did I get a 149?
Mm.
I sat there. I said, I looked at the screen. I said, okay. And at that point, I had failed it 3 times before. So I'm like, what am I? What get upset about? Like, this is the closest you ever came. Took that. I walked out. Called my mom and said, yeah, mom, I failed. She was like, well, how bad was it? I was like, I got a 149 out of 50. She was like, okay, that's not bad. That's improvement. And I went to the school board, not school board, a little department lady, because she was like, oh, we can work around it. Because apparently the year before that, girl, they had been letting people just slide in and slide out.
Hmm.
Now, girl, had they let me slide in and slide out, I would have been the first person in that program history, black, to do that. Like, there was
Hmm.
literally nobody. Like it's kind of wild. You think about it. Even the people like now who were in our program, which was maybe like a good 12 of us, like not a lot of people. Like you said, it's not a whole bunch of people. Actually,
Yeah.
max 15. It's still not a lot of us.
Yeah.
The people who went into the program for teaching and fully got their license, maybe two of them are teaching. The rest of the people who got like the other track, who are doing the opposite track of where you had to teach for 2 years and then go ahead and get your license from that, we're all still teaching, which I
Mm-hmm.
find very interesting because I don't know, it goes to show like your work is not in vain. Like we did all the extra work and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It just surprised me.
Cause I was like the only now. So my major was journalism, guys, and my major itself is very small, like in general. So for my year, my class, I believe it was about 6 of us. In my
Not six.
literally 6.
Girl.
Now it was a little bit more, but some people graduated early, like a year early. But so most of the time, from about the last part of sophomore year until we graduated, or no, actually the whole time I was in classes with the same people, but I was always the only black girl. Like it's been other black guys in my class. Like one time, this is another black guy that was in our major, but he graduated early, and it was literally me and him in like 2 or 3 of our classes. And my own personal self, like I'm hard on myself. Like I had to work hard. I had to do what I need to do. That's just a me thing. But I also felt like because I was the only black girl in there, I had to show up and show out. Like I had to do what needed to be done because I'm the only black girl in the class. And it didn't bother me that much because I generally liked the people that I was in class with, and my professors were actually really nice. Like I was really, really lucky to have nice, good professors that like actually respected me and respected my work. So I always felt supported in that way. So that's something that I just didn't think. I don't know what I was thinking when I walked into PWI, thinking like, because some people's horror stories are like that their professors treat them all kind of ways, that they experience so much with their professors and their classmates, but I didn't really have too too much of that. And also, I forgot to tell you guys, our PWI is considered one of the more diverse PWIs. I think that our class coming in, we had like 15 or 20% of like minorities or something like that.
Yes. Yes, we did.
So at the time, I don't really know too much about the other classes like after us, but I know for us we had the most
Most
diversity.
diversity. And I think we also had, I wouldn't say, our president, was he the first black
I don't know.
president?
Oh
No,
yeah,
he
y'all.
was. Was he or was he
That's
not?
another thing, y'all, that we gotta touch on too. We ended up having a black president for our school, which was pretty cool, and he was an alpha, which was cool. I think he don't work there anymore now, but he
No, girl,
was
he's at
there.
OD. He at
He
ODU,
was.
which is also, it's almost like, I hate to say it, but Radford, at the time that President Hill was there, it was almost like a low key ODU. Like, I don't want to say that Radford had like a black Radford and a white Radford, but
It do. There is a black
it,
Radford
it,
and there
it
is a
really
white Radford.
does. It really
Like that.
does. But I think after we graduated, there was no more black Radford and white Radford. It was just
I
kind of
don't
like
know. I don't know like the numbers because the pandemic. We literally graduated in May of 2019, and the
a
pandemic hit
pandemic
like
hit
that
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 following year,
March. So
that
yeah, but
following March.
for me, like I was saying, like being the only black girl in the class, like it just made me want to just work harder. But I was like, I was saying that I didn't experience anything that I felt like was like just not fair from my professors because I had really good professors. And the good thing is I had the same professors. Like I had the same professors for multiple classes in one semester.
Uh
And
huh.
I feel like they really respected me. And
And I
I
will
I
say that we didn't have any like, I don't know about you. Come to think of it, I don't think I had any black professors. I know you and Jalen had one.
I did,
I
girl,
did
did
not.
girl. I had one black professor, and I'm not gonna say his name on here, but if you are a rapper person, I'll describe him. He was, I think, it was a psychology teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and me and Jalen took psychology or sociology. One of them two, I forget.
Wasn't
Psychology or
like African
sociology.
American something.
It was just regular. It was regular
Uh
sociology
huh.
or whatever. It's like, I think it was sociology, regular. And he was a
Okay.
very like, he's like an activist. So I think like what is that movie? Oh
What's
my
that
gosh,
movie?
it's the movie about, it's on Netflix, and look it up. It's a movie on Netflix, and it's
What is
about
it?
when they talk about like the prison system.
Okay, so incarcerated.
No, it's called something
And
12.
oh,
Something
12. Let's see,
maybe.
Netflix.
I
It
think
says
it was on
Netflix. Oh no,
Netflix.
hold on. 12. 12 Days Strong.
No. It's like
I
a
know it.
documentary. I don't know what it is, y'all, but it's a documentary. I think it was on Netflix. Oh my gosh, what is the name? I can't think of it.
Let's see.
And it was just going through like,
The 13th.
the
The
13th.
13th.
The
Mm-hmm.
13th,
You
there it
said
is.
12.
I said the 12th. At least I had a number. The 13th. And we watched that in our class, and like us being at PWI, not having a lot of black professors and stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm.
that is radical in
They
our,
tried
like,
to pull in.
our
They tried to
world.
pull
But
in some people, but they didn't. I don't think it worked because out on the outside, Bradford's a PWI, and in order to get like black professors, you have to like. It's hard. I don't even. Was he an adjunct or was he like a full time professor?
I think he was an adjunct, but a lot of the professors there was adjunct. For you to be
They whole
a full salary 10-year professor,
yeah, it's hard.
girl. Because one of my professors that looked like he should have been a 10-year professor, he was adjunct, and when I found out, I was like, what? But yeah, like that
Yes.
class really, like, it was so cool to have that type of experience in like our school.
Poor man.
And
Cause I think it
yeah,
also think it is so weird though. Is that if I look at it, the people that I had like professor wise, which are you presume they're mostly like either male, white, or male, female. Um, the black people there were, I hate to say it, but they were most likely the people who had like smaller jobs, like they were like the janitors, or they were working at the gym, or they were doing something on a smaller
mm-hmm.
scale versus like having like a seat office. So for us to see President Hill up there, we was like, oh, we
We
got a
was
black
surprised
man
that
in power,
y'all would
girl.
have thought it
We
was
it
Obama.
was Obama up there.
We treat that man like he was
He was,
Obama.
yes.
Because for us, for black students, like for us, like to have him there was such an experience. It was a great
Yes.
experience. Like he had a cookout at his house, y'all. I didn't get to go. I think we
Mm-hmm.
was at work.
Yes.
I
Now
didn't
don't
get
get
to
us
go.
wrong. Don't get us wrong. Do other presidents do stuff like that? Yes. But like
Mm-hmm.
he was one of those where he wanted to make sure his face was like everywhere. Like people like, oh, President Hill's in the dining hall today. Come down and eat lunch with him. Like
Yeah.
people would flock to him.
And
Now
he
when
made it his point
to make sure
like
that
he made it his point to reach out to us to be at our events. Like I think,
mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember 100%, but I believe that he ended up coming to speak to us at a Greek life event at some point, maybe, or he was going to. But that's just showing like him, like reaching out to us and like knowing, that we are here and we
Mm-hmm.
exist. So he did a lot, like, on that front. Like the
Mm-hmm.
cookout at his house, like he would literally, I know some people like in the professional setting, if they're in like connected to a fraternity or sorority, they don't really like to, you know, be them because they're in a
Being
professional
yeah,
setting. But with him, like I
it did
remember seeing
not
like a
matter.
picture of him in the alphas.
He
He
always,
knew.
whenever the alphas were somewhere, he would always post with them. He would always make sure he had that
Yeah.
black and gold tie on. Girl, he was famous with that black and gold tie.
Yes. Like he really, so that kind of also played into to our experiences. Like I said, like Lauren was saying, like there wasn't many black professors, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think there were some scattered here and
there
there,
was, yeah,
but if you
but to
was to
see
take a
President
picture,
Hemphill,
wow,
girl, and he made sure that there was diversity showcase on campus.
it's
He
like
made
we
sure
knew
of it,
him, like
like
personally, like we
personally.
knew him,
There go
like
Brian, Brian
Uncle
O'Hill, Brian O'Hill. That's what, Brian. Yeah,
Brian,
me and President Brian.
right.
Girl, we be up there acting fool.
Also, I think for us, our experience with our PWI, because of this PWI that we, like we told y'all, that we chose, and how our class was more diverse. Now, 20% does not sound like a lot compared to like the other percentage, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot in statistics at school and the amount of
Mm-hmm.
people that go. So for us, like, we had a lot of stuff that supported Black students at Radford, in my opinion.
We did.
Now
We
whether
had
people took
whether people
advantage of that or
use it,
not,
yes.
but it was, I will say, it was
So
there.
just to name a couple, we had BSA, which is Black Student Alliance. We had
Mm-hmm.
ASA, which is African Student Alliance. We
Mm-hmm.
had CDI, which is culture inclusive. What is it?
No.
Culturally,
Culture
I
for
don't. Yeah,
diversity and
girl.
inclusion.
Yeah, girl. We had them. What else we had? We had. If you really want to think about it, our space was really
Well,
that was.
no. No,
I
I
know
ain't gonna
it
put
wasn't
I ain't
supposed to be,
gonna
but I know it
we
wasn't
had
supposed to be. But they were the one that hosted all of our concerts, and mind you, all them concerts we had was all them
I
Black
think
people
it
coming.
was the people on the board, but like
Yeah, but
specifically
it was a lot
targeted
of.
for
It
Black
was still a
students.
lot of them.
I would say, yeah, all the ones that you named, and I would also say our Greek
Yeah,
life,
well, there's more.
because a lot of
It was
PWI's Greek life is not as like how
showcase. It's not a
ours was. Like we had almost every
everyone.
organization on campus at the time, minus
We were missing
like
two.
two.
Actually, three
So
when we went. It was three when we went. You're
two or
missing.
two or
It was
three,
three
yeah.
because you're missing the Q's, deltas, and iotas. But now
Yeah.
Radford they moved up, girl. They got the iotas.
Yeah. So we were missing a couple, but like that was there for us as well. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say on that front there was a lot of things, and the people that we had there that were there at the time that we were there, like
They
we
were,
had a
yeah.
lot of events to go to. Like we had our own, like we like to call it Black Radford. Like it's our own
We literally had
little,
we had a Twitter page on it and everything. Like there
yeah.
was
Like
it was like, oh, what y'all
it's
doing this weekend, Black Radford? Like you were either going up to
yeah.
Tech, you were staying home. There was something for you to do every single weekend. And I'm like, there's of course other clubs that we weren't naming, but like those are the big ones. Oh, we had Pretty
Mhm.
Women.
Oh
That was
yeah, I was
Spacey
on.
started. That was more
Yeah.
of a POC type deal, but still, you had a lot of stuff there to where if you didn't know we could fit in, you could find somewhere that you could
Yeah,
actually fit in.
there was spaces, and then because of the small percentage of you know Black people in our school when we were there, like a lot of us just knew each other. Like a lot of us was either in the same organizations together, same classes. Like we had that there. I know at a lot of PWIs they don't have that type of stuff. Like they don't have a Black Student Alliance. They don't have these things, but a lot of
Mm-mm.
it I will say goes like shout
Mm-hmm.
out to all the people that came before us.
That were
And we
trying to get
actually
it started. Yep.
we actually have a Black alumni network
Uh huh.
also.
Now has it died
So
down since we graduated? Probably so.
no, are you on the
It hasn't.
page?
Girl, no, I couldn't. I couldn't
No,
do.
you got to get. I'll add you to the page, and it's like alumni from back in the days, like back in the day, like the 80s, the 90s, them.
Girl, they
So
was. I know they was serious about Radford now.
oh,
Now
they
the
love
way
them
the
some
way
raffle,
the way they rode for Radford was crazy. What I'm saying is
right?
our generation. We like, yeah, we went there. You know what I'm saying? Like I
No,
don't
a
know if I
lot
would
of
be
people.
like still,
I gotta add you to the page. A lot of people
girl.
that even we were in school with is in
I
the
don't
page
know,
too. I
but
joined the
I don't know if I
page.
could.
I joined the page mainly just to see what's going on. Like I joined the
But they
page
still do.
a long time ago, but like they're always posting like what it's more the older people posting, but
Mm-hmm.
like they're
What's
posting
going
like
on around
what
Radford?
no, they're posting a lot of stuff like certain people getting awards for different
Oh,
things,
about
like
the.
doing stuff in the
Mm-hmm.
community, like the things that they're just doing and stuff. And then they talked
Mm-hmm.
about when they were coming for like homecoming, they try to do like events, um, and all that type of stuff. So I will just kind of give a shout out to the people that came before us because I think that is what laid the foundation to for us to have
They
the
laid
things
a
that we do at
very
Radford.
nice foundation.
Because like I said, I remember a TikTok of this girl and she was talking about like her experience at HBCU and like why she's leaving and stuff, which is so sad and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate. Like us as Black people and any other minority should be able to go to whatever school we choose and not have to deal with all the things we deal with. And we should not deal with that in the world either, but it's life. But I really hate it for people that go to these schools that want to go to these schools Like, they love to go to these schools for all reasons, and they get there and the school treats them like
you just don't,
they're nothing. So I count it a blessing for us to go to the school that we went to. And yes, I wanted to go to HBCU, and yes, I wanted to transfer, but God wanted me to stay where I was, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have met the amazing people that I met or went through the things that I went through to get me to where I am today. So I don't regret it at all. But yeah, like, it's there, it's there, it's there.
Yes, but yeah, I would say that Radford was an experience, child. It was. Now, don't get me wrong. Every experience got a good and a bad, but I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
most of the memories are good from there. They're very
most of my
interesting.
memories are good. Obviously, the school isn't perfect. Nowhere is perfect.
It was
Nothing is
nowhere
perfect.
perfect.
But it was where I needed to be and what I needed at the
At the
time.
time.
We had a lot of people in our school that were like heavy on activism.
Yep, we
I
sure
don't know
did.
if y'all saw,
Girl,
but I'm
yes.
finna tell them, go search it up. So basically, this is a hot take for our school, because we were a lot of the black students were mad at our school because I don't want to bring up old news, but in 2016, whenever the presidential election was coming up, y'all know who was running, Donald Trump. And our school, like I told y'all, our town they rednecks, they them. Where our school is placed, not our school community, and but I'm talking about
Not
the
our
people
choice.
around us, because our city is red. Where our school is, our city is all red.
Red.
So they had Donald Trump to come speak at our little what's it called? Not stadium. Our little
No.
no. Where the
No.
basketball people play? Where the basketball players
It
play?
might as
Where
well
we
be.
had
It might
graduation.
as well have been our stadium.
Just say
It might as well have been
stadium.
our. It might as well have been our
Right.
stadium. Like, let's not.
So they had him come and speak. So the black community at our school was outraged, because we were like, Radford, why would y'all do that? Like, why would y'all
Girl,
do that? Like, so people were
it was
really upset.
so crazy.
So a group of y'all go look this up, because it made it to CNN.
It
A
sure
group
did.
of we tried to get in, because we knew originally it was a PSA shout out to all the black people. Like, you had to be connected to know this, like in the different organizations and stuff, that we were going to protest at the event. We tried to get in. We could not get in because it was so packed. So you had, all the white people, everybody around trying to get there. And then some students did get in. The students that got in, they, like I said, it was, the plan was to protest, right? They had signs and everything. So they're doing that while he's speaking and stuff. Things turn left. They get escorted out, and y'all look it up. In that same situation, I think he threatened a reporter, or he did something with a reporter.
It was somebody in a wheelchair. He was making fun of somebody who was disabled. Actually, hold on. Let me fact check. Let me not be wrong. Hold on.
Fact check. It was so much that happened that day, y'all, and we made it
that
to
time,
see our little old school. And made it to CNN. It was so, you couldn't tell like black rapper nothing. It was such a powerful
and they
moment.
had everything out there. Let me see if I can find it.
It was such a powerful moment to experience. Like, these are the type of people that we have at our PWI. Like, we were so mad at rapper. Like, why would y'all even entertain the idea? But then I was like, it's the money. It's got to be the money. And then,
okay. So it was this one man he was grabbed and taken down at a rally. It was somebody choking.
All that happened at Radford?
Yeah. It was right at the Deadman Center, y'all. Mind you, we had people up on the roof. They were protesting. Girl, me and Denny. Okay, imagine. Okay, first of all, I would just like to talk about my outfit. I was getting very much Janet Jackson. I wasn't dressed in all black. I don't know why I was dressed in all black. And I had that green bomber jacket and a black hat. I don't know where I was going.
We was going to protest, girl.
We were, because they told everybody all black people was wearing black. So we were all in black because it was a funeral. We were mourning. Okay.
Oh my! I don't remember that part, but I do remember.
I mean, everybody was in black. I'm trying to figure out. I feel like something else happened there, but I cannot remember
But y'all,
What else
it's so
happened?
it was
If you
so
go look at it,
wild.
you go look. I think I want to say somebody was. Hold on, let me see.
I
Chicken.
feel like somebody
Somebody
was
hit. I don't know. Somebody was something happened.
kicked or something.
Oh yeah, girl. And then of course, we had the chicken blown up of Trump on the yard. I remember that. That was funny.
It was so y'all. That was just that time period anyway was so weird,
It
and
was.
it was a lot. Like y'all should have
Yeah. Okay.
seen.
No. He got punched. Yeah. He got punched at the
Yeah,
thing. He had to get escorted out by um Secret Service. He got punched just for no reason. He was just. I think he might have asked a question, or he was in the wrong place, wrong time, and somebody just knocked him out.
I don't know y'all, but it was a lot that went on that they like we said. Look it up, CNN. It was there,
And you can
but
hear.
that
You literally can hear Trump like he was talking in the background. You hear. I don't know what they were saying, but it was
I forgot.
like this yelling. I think we were yelling Black Lives Matter, weren't they?
I forgot. I don't know, but
I
yeah,
don't know,
y'all.
but you
We
look at the
and we
picture,
standing outside, child. We trying to get up in the building. We
trying to
trying,
get in.
girl.
Trying this
But
was
yeah,
process.
that was one experience at our PWI that was it
That was
was
like a
weird
monumental
for
thing. And I don't know
yeah.
why, but I don't understand why in the world we still had class that day. Why
We
did
did
we
have
have
class,
class?
y'all. It was our little town was turned upside down.
And professors were talking
Like
about if you attend, please send me a picture you were there. Girl, I remember I had to take a
yeah,
selfie. I was like, here I am in front of Devin.
yeah, like our professors,
Cheese.
But I will say a majority, not all, a lot of the Radford professors that I have encountered they're liberals. So that's also another
Mm-hmm.
thing, y'all. I know a lot of PWIs, like certain ones, like a lot of the professors are conservative and like politics are not a forefront, but you know when somebody is conservative and you know when somebody is liberal. And all the professors I had in mine were very much liberal. And that also plays a part into it.
Uh-huh.
For me, But so we talked about our experience in the classroom and different things on campus, just kind of in general. So now let's talk about some of the like specific things that we joined while we were there that
Mm-hmm.
enhanced our experience. So one thing, me and Lauren worked at the same place on campus,
Yeah.
and it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Now let me
We worked,
explain. We
yeah.
gotta talk about how we got the job first. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it was like I don't even know how they did it. It was a what was the question everybody had to fill out?
I think so.
I can't remember.
It was a
But I
questionnaire,
got
I think.
it's a question. I got two job opportunities. I got Bonnie Ops and I got Game Room.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny got Game Room
Mm-hmm.
interview. So girl, we interviewed, blah blah blah. Everything's good. I think it was maybe like a week later. They're like, okay, you'll hear back from us in a week. Well, here I was, just waiting on a little email. Denny gets hers first. That she got the job at the Game Room. I got my Bonnie Ops job, and then I think 2 minutes later I got the Game Room job. I'm like, girl, what you doing? You taking the job? So we both were like, yeah. So we ended up working the exact same job.
Since what, our sophomore year up
Sophomore
until
year up until our senior year.
wait, it was a sophomore or
Well,
was
we
it
didn't remember.
junior?
We got the job at the end
Sophomore
of our
year.
sophomore year.
Yeah. So junior year to senior year, we worked at the game room, which it opened up a lot of opportunities for us. Our manager
Mm-hmm.
at that time, Kim, was
Shout
a
out to
big
Kim.
shout out to her. So if you listening to this, probably not.
Shout out to
Shout
Kim.
out to you because from that, Lauren was able to be the game room manager.
Yeah, girl, I was a
And then
manager.
I transitioned into, first of all, I did every job. And I worked over the summer as well there. Lauren didn't work over the summer with me.
Mm-mm.
Sad, but it was so
Girl,
much
I
fun.
came one
But I
time
ended
and
up
never again.
right. I ended up being a building manager, which basically I was in charge of the entire student center, which
Uh huh.
that was an experience. I liked it, but it was, I mean, every Tuesday night you should catch me there locking up.
You
But
sure
yeah,
was.
so that was fun. Like the people that we worked with were pretty fun. Like we had it was a few of us uh black students that worked there, so it wasn't just like all white students. And
Yeah.
then like how we said, like y'all, it might not seem like nothing to y'all, if you thinking it in a different way, but to us, for Lauren to become uh manager of the game room, and for me to become a
Mm-hmm.
freaking building manager in general, is a big thing, because y'all know how scarce it is for black people, especially black women, to get opportunities. And
Yep.
like when I mean, like I had the keys to the building, like,
we
and I wasn't the
girl.
only one, but it wasn't a lot of us. I think before me it was like two or three, but that was just, that was a good opportunity. Something I know at a lot of other PWIs, something like that for a black student
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even be
Considered, or you know.
considered or possible. So that was, we loved our game room experience. We don't have no
We
complaints about
did.
it, honestly.
It was great.
It was great money, and half the time we didn't do anything. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it wasn't great money.
I
It
mean,
was
now,
enough money for us at the
it was
time.
okay. Let me explain. Now, I banked up my hours, child. I made
Oh,
sure
that's nothing. We was working.
we was work my first year, y'all. Okay, see, the thing was my schedule. Whoever set my schedule up the first year I worked, I freaking loved it. So
Yes.
I worked Mondays through Fridays, and I didn't. Well, actually, I worked Monday through Thursday. I had Fridays off. So every time somebody was going home, I would snatch up the little Friday hours, girl. I be working like
Girl,
I would get so much money.
we used to
What I
put
thought was money,
slept.
but you know,
Yeah, well, now
yeah.
that wouldn't be
Now
getting you.
that wouldn't do nothing. But I was
We
picking up them
racked
shifts
up.
left and right, right and left.
We was
Couldn't tell me
you
nothing.
anybody that we went to school with. If y'all listening to this, y'all know when y'all came in that game room. 9 times out of 10, y'all either
We hear
saw
that
me
thing
or
running
Lauren,
smooth.
because we was running that place. I ain't gonna say we was the favorites, but we was the favorites. I'm sorry, Kim. You know
We
that
was
is
the
true.
favorites.
We were the favorites. So yeah,
We
like
were very
our
much the
experience
favorites.
there. So that's kind of one layer that added on to our experience. Like we got to meet some cool
Mm-hmm.
people at our time, and some not so cool people while working there. But for the most part, it was pretty good. So like, what organization? What are all the organizations that you joined while you were there? You can just like name them. Like what
Girl,
did you
what did I
join?
name?
What were you a part of? I gotta think too. I was part of a lot of different things.
Um, good question. I don't know what I did. Oh, I was part of a little leadership group. I
Yeah.
helped. We actually were supposed to do. We were actually supposed to do like a conference. It didn't happen, but
Mm.
I was called Silo. I was part of a silo. I had to. That's also one of the things that thankfully Kim she opened me up to. Like I ain't gonna lie, Kim put our names out there a whole bunch. Like without Kim,
Mm-hmm. We got
girl,
a lot of opportunity. Like during at
opportunities.
the time, it was just like, oh yeah, we're getting opportunities. We're grateful, but really sitting and thinking back on it, like for us to have gotten, like, I got nominated for an award, y'all.
Girl, I won. I won an award. I remember. I said, What am I doing here? like,
Right. I got
what?
nominated for, like, it was an organization off of, it was like nothing to do with campus. It was like in the community or it was something connected
Girl,
to the campus or
it
something.
was
And I was like, I got nominated for
girl. She nominated me for like this. Oh, girl, remember we were part of that fitness club that we started.
Oh yeah, with one of our friends at the time. We were in that. We were in a
What
fitness
was it
club,
called?
American Muscle Fitness.
Yep, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yep. See.
Let me see. I was in Pretty Women. I was in Pretty Women as a member for a little bit, and
Oh,
like,
that's right. Pretty Women. I remember that.
or I think my freshman year,
We
or maybe
were.
my sophomore year, and then
It was our
my
freshman.
senior year, I was actually on the board of Pretty Women. And then so that's one. I was part of an honor society for my
Oh,
major.
girl. Yeah, I remember that. I was part of
I was
ODAC. Girl, come
Lambda
to
Pi
find out.
Eta.
Girl, come to find out. My cousin was like, what my cousin? She had girl, she had called me and was like, "Girl, we part of the same little fraternity or sorority." I said, "Huh?" I said, "What is that?" She goes, "We're part of the same honor sorority or fraternity." I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
You
was a
know,
part of that from. I didn't know. I didn't know that one came with a lot of opportunities for me. I was a part of that
not
for
for
two
me. I would say that.
years.
Somehow, girl, I ended
Mine's.
up as president. How did I end up as president? Is that I know what I said? Why did y'all put me in charge? I said, who
I
did
was
this?
I was on the board literally everything senior year, everything I was a part of, I was on the board of. Like Landon Pot 8, I was on the board. I forgot what I was, but we didn't do nothing senior year. But like you remember I got to this isn't really an opportunity that I got from the organization, but my teacher, this is
Uh huh.
kind of also what I'm talking about, like how my particular teachers kind of really poured into me, to be honest with you. And I ain't gonna say I was a favorite, but I was one of my teacher's favorites because my teacher really, like, he encouraged me and he like put my name out there to um present at the conference. So it's called the Bacchus Conference. So it's a communications
Mm-hmm.
conference that all the colleges go to. The year before we went to, remember I went to George Mason for those two
Yep.
days for that conference,
Yep.
and then the last year it ended up being in our school. So like that was a huge opportunity for me because I never did nothing like that. One, and my teacher was so excited. I did a research, and then for me, I don't know about for you. I guess it's different for you, but for
What
me,
is that?
whenever I had to do any type of research topic on anybody or anything, like I always picked a black person. Like we had a senior portfolio project, and
Oh, girl, I sure did. And I don't
we
know
had to
why.
pick somebody.
I was so like every time in college, it would be like, oh, yes, this black person. I'm like, no, they're African American. I don't
I
know what deep
was
down inside of me, I had to change it to African American. I don't know why,
I
but I
was
did that.
wait. But yeah, I made it my mission to do my presentation on a black person. I did it on John Mitchell Jr. and my teacher was so in love with it, so impressed with what I did that he wanted me to present it at the conference because he said more people needed to know. And for me, at the time, like I said, y'all, at the time I'm thinking like this is a good opportunity, but now I'm like that is really a huge opportunity to be like for somebody to believe in me like that, to want me to present
Yeah.
like he girl when I that man was like, "You have to present this. This is like this is." I was like, "Huh?" This was at first. I was like, "You want me to do what?"
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, so I was a part of my honor society. I was part of Pretty Women. Um, what else was I part of? Oh, we are both in sororities. So for me, I never told y'all what sorority I'm part of. I told y'all to guess, but I remember Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I joined my junior year. So from my last 2 years for me were the busiest. So that is something that also was a part of. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that I was connected to, besides my honor society, everything that I was connected to just gave me like to have more of a community with like the black students in our school, and like it
Yeah.
built it, like our Greek life at the time was like the backbone of the black community at Radford, I would say, because a lot of people were involved, one, and
Mm-hmm.
it was the
Mm-hmm.
backbone of the community. So I think that also played a part in my experience at a PWI
Mm-hmm.
because I'm at a PWI, but all my friends, I'm doing this organization, this event, we're going here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all people that look like me. Now, I do have class with people that don't look like me, and I work with people that don't look like me, and I'm walking down the hall with people that don't look like me, but I'm doing all these organizations. I'm a freaking building manager. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I run the student center. Everything in that student center, I was responsible for. So, yeah, I can't remember what I was a part of after those couple.
Girl,
I
I
think
think
that's
I just know my senior year, I was running around with a chicken with my head cut off. I physically and mentally do not know how I made it. I
me
stayed so
neither.
busy because let's
Me
just
neither.
see. I was at work. I was a manager of the game room.
Mm-hmm.
I was also a track coach at the time. So like my schedule would go school classes, no lunch in between. At 2 o'clock, well, like at 2:50, I had to be on the track. Like Radford High School is like 2 minutes from there. Um, go to track practice. After track practice, go to work. And if they had a track meet, I would have to wrap up work quick and go to a track meet, take a shower, not eat, do some other things, and then be in bed by like 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and then get up and ready for the next day, girl. I would say very stressful. I also joined a sorority. I joined Sigma Gamma Bro. We just turned 100 November 12th, so you know. But I will say it was a crazy year. Joining your senior year, does it have some perks to it? Sure. But in your busiest time frame, whew, I literally look at my schedule. I'm like thinking about it now. I'm like, how did you mentally get through it without having a breakdown?
Yeah.
Because,
My
girl,
last 2 years
I looked at that.
was a
I,
lot. Like,
I had so much going on. Like, I literally had to get like 50 hours of community service. Mind you, because I was a track coach, I didn't get paid for what I was doing. I was just volunteering. Okay. And I stayed with them. I helped them out from the beginning of outdoor season, which is March, all the way until the end of June, y'all. Okay. Not getting paid for any of it, knowing that the
mm-hmm.
experience was going to be great for me. But like I said, I woke up, class at 8, maybe had like 30 minutes in between that and my next class. Went to my next class, didn't eat lunch, maybe went home, took like a small, like a smidget 20-minute nap, got up, practice, work. Maybe sometimes I stayed over for work. Maybe sometimes I went back to the track. Your girl was rolling.
Yeah,
She was not, I was not
senior year
breathing.
was the busiest. Yeah, I was
I
working
was
like
not.
Lauren. I was working at the game room, and I was also a building manager, and I was also Bonnie Ops at the time. So I basically had 3 different jobs, and
We
I would
was
be
not.
scheduled for a game room shift, and they she'll put me and be like, "Can you go do this setup?" Or
Yep.
like I have literally worked at the game room and been a building manager on the same day.
And girl, to be honest with you, I keep my schedule, like I keep my planner from that year just to be like, when you having a bad day, look what
Remember
you
me?
actually got yourself. So remember what you
Right.
had to do. Because
Right.
I honestly, like, when I seriously look back at that schedule, I'm like, you were not supposed to be okay. Like, there was no way. And like my mom's like, just throw the schedule. Like, why do you need that? I'm like, look at what I was doing. Like, I cannot
Yeah.
believe what I was doing. And like, seriously, even now, I still don't believe I got through that. Like, it's still amazing to me that I got through that.
Yeah. Senior year is always the busiest year. But I will say everything that I was a part of, the people I met, the professors I had, the things that I got to experience really is what made my college experience the best it could have been.
Sure did.
I don't regret anything. I wouldn't change anything either. Like we said, everybody's experience is different depending on what school you go to and whatnot. And I encourage people to go to whatever school is the best fit for
Of your
you and what
choice.
your heart desires. Like y'all know, it's always a PWI versus HBCU debate, and
It's gonna be that
I'm
century.
not.
This is like a century old debate.
Yeah, it's a debate. So like, I went to PWI and I wanted to go to HBCU, but it didn't work out for me that way. But I am also pro HBCUs. Like I said, go to where is
You
the
want?
best for you. I don't regret my choice. I don't think one regrets her choice.
Nope.
I'm a firm believer that God puts you exactly where He wants you. There's a
Had me
reason why I didn't.
a
It's
great
a
old
reason.
time.
It's a reason why we didn't transfer. Because a lot of people end up did like transferring, but like
They
we didn't
did.
transfer.
They didn't either. They didn't like it, or something about Radford that just,
Yeah,
you
like we
know.
said, like that ties back into everybody's experience being the same. So yeah, that's kind of our PWI experience in a nutshell, y'all. We can be here all night talking about our experience
Anything.
at a PWI. Like, I just wanted us to do this episode to kind of shine a light on, like, because every PWI experience you hear is
It's
negative,
different.
and it's so sad that people have to go through things they went through, like at their school. And I'm sure there's people
Mm-hmm.
out there that went to our school that have a totally different
Different perspective,
experience,
outlook on what happened. Like,
the experience than what we had. But for us, our experience went. It
yeah.
was good. It was, for the most part, it was good. Obviously, like Lauren said before, like everything was not perfect, and there were some ups and some downs. We did experience certain parts there while we were there that were not ideal. Which, like I said, I promise y'all we gonna do a story time on when we got pulled over, why we got pulled over, and how traumatizing it was for us. But yeah,
Girl,
girl, you
not
got any
imagine it was
final
not our
thoughts to
fault.
people?
Oh
Right, it
no.
wasn't our fault. Any final thoughts about this PWI
Just
experience?
go where your heart desires and don't let nobody else tell you different.
Right.
Okay? Because I will say, girl, I'm looking through my old emails. I will say that some people will try to skew your thinking. I did have that happen when I was trying to pick out where I wanted to go for school. Because everybody said like Radford was a party school. It was like why are you going to Radford? Like what's wrong with Radford? Are you going to that little school? Like like people will always try to underestimate where you're going, but it doesn't need to be that bad. Okay, so just do what you want to do, make your own decision, think about it. You're growing up.
Right.
Eventually, all the choices you make, you're gonna be there for a reason. So
Yeah, and if you go to school and you don't like it, go on and pack your bags and leave it.
and transfer. There ain't nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I did
This ain't
not
for
like
me.
it. I don't like it as much as I thought I would. There's nothing wrong with saying that. You
Right.
much rather tell people that, hey, you know what? I hated it versus just not saying anything and just staying there and being
Yeah.
sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right. All right. Final thoughts. All right, advice. Go where you want to go. Choose the school that you want to go to. Don't let other people kind of make you go one way or the other. At the end of the
Yeah,
day,
it's your
I
choice.
mean, we it's your choice. Like it's your choice. Do what you want to do. It doesn't make you any less black if you go to a HBCU. I mean, if you go to a PWI and not a HBCU.
And that's just you.
Cause some
Ain't nothing wrong
people
with
some
it.
people don't like that experience either. So like go where
Mm-hmm.
you want to go. Like we said, like I consider HBCUs and I wanted to go, but it just didn't work out for me and I wanted to transfer, but I ended up staying at my PWI because I met a lot of good people and I had a lot of fun. So yeah.
Yeah, just do whatever your heart desires.
Right. Always.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Girl,
y'all.
I think that's all we got.
That's all we got this week. I think it's a little shorter this week, I think.
It's oh, child, drop my mic. Yes, girl. Let's see. Let's see.
Yes.
Girl,
We
what?
got some good episodes coming up for y'all.
Girl, I mean, we can talk about how adulthood is ghetto. What's going on with inflation? Because
Mm.
the price of eggs right now are crazy. I went grocery shopping, and groceries were like $70 something. What's going
Right.
on? Okay, what is going
Yes.
on? We definitely got that coming up. We also have. Let me see. Let me
We
just
got so many
reach down into the vault of what we got. We got a lot of
topics.
stuff coming up. Stay tuned. What else?
Yes. Stay tuned. Story times. Because we got some of them. We got some of them.
Definitely. Girl, I don't know what we're talking about
But
right now.
but yeah, y'all. Let me go because then Lauren gonna be
I am.
y'all.
I'm like, girl,
She
where are
trying.
we going? Where are we going?
Anyway, y'all. Thanks for
You bet.
watching. Make sure you are caught up on all of our episodes thus far. We've been very consistent, y'all. Three for
Yes.
three.
Three
Three
for
for three.
three.
Like always, follow us on Instagram at NowGirl19. Follow us on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our personal accounts are in our
Bios.
podcast bio. Make sure you subscribe and follow our podcast so you can know every time that we release, which we release every Friday. Podcast will be out by 7 a.m. early in the morning so you can listen to it on your way to
Great
work.
day. Whew.
Yeah. Listen to it on your way to work. Listen to it after work. Listen to it when you're in the gym. Listen to it when you're at home. Listen
On your
to it
job. What is it?
everywhere. Just listen to us. But yeah, y'all.
All right.
We will see y'all next week. Bye,
Have a
y'all.
great week. Be blessed.